The textile industry utilizes a vast array of chemicals throughout its various processes, from the cultivation of raw materials to the dyeing, finishing, and production of garments. While these chemicals enhance the aesthetics and functionality of textiles, many pose significant risks to human health. In this video, we will explore the health impacts associated with the use of harmful chemicals in the textile industry. Textile workers, especially those involved in dyeing and finishing processes, face direct exposure to a cocktail of hazardous chemicals. These chemicals can enter the body through inhalation, skin contact, or ingestion, leading to a range of acute and chronic health issues. Dust, smoke, mist, and fumes generated during textile processing can lead to respiratory problems, including asthma, bronchitis, and flock workers' lung. Workers in cotton processing facilities are particularly vulnerable to inhaling fine dust particles, leading to bronchitis and weight loss. Flock workers' lung, a type of interstitial lung disease, is associated with workers in factories that produce synthetic velvets and can increase the risk of lung cancer. Direct contact with dyes, finishing agents, and other chemicals can cause skin irritation, dermatitis, and other skin diseases. A local activist in Tirupur, India, reported that his father, a dye house worker, had shiny and brittle skin on his hands and forearms due to prolonged exposure to dyes. Prolonged exposure to certain chemicals, such as formaldehyde and azo dyes, has been linked to an increased risk of cancer. A study of workers in permanent press garment factories in the U.S. revealed a higher risk of developing various cancers due to formaldehyde exposure. Garment workers also report experiencing cardiovascular problems, gastric pain, and diarrhea, which they attribute to chemical hazards in their workplaces. There are also serious impacts on consumers. While consumers may not experience the same level of direct exposure as textile workers, they are not immune to the health risks posed by harmful chemicals in clothing. These chemicals can leach out of fabrics and come into contact with the skin, potentially leading to skin allergies and irritation. Chemicals like formaldehyde and dispersed dyes can trigger allergic reactions and skin irritation in sensitive individuals. A journalist recounts receiving an email about flight attendants experiencing severe skin reactions and respiratory problems due to new uniforms. Endocrine disruptors, such as nonylphenol ethoxylates, NPEs, and phthalates, can interfere with the body's hormonal system, potentially leading to developmental and reproductive problems. The long-term health effects of exposure to low levels of many textile chemicals are not fully understood. However, there are concerns that these chemicals could contribute to chronic diseases, such as cancer and autoimmune disorders. Environmental contamination and community health is also a serious issue. The discharge of untreated effluent from textile factories contaminates water sources, posing a significant threat to the health of communities living near production hubs. These contaminated water sources can lead to skin diseases. Children who swam in the polluted Noyal River in Tirupur, India, developed skin lesions and eczema due to the presence of lead and cadmium. Poisoning. The consumption of crops irrigated with contaminated water can lead to pesticide poisoning. A tragic incident in Bihar, India, resulted in the death of 23 school children after consuming food cooked with oil stored in a recycled pesticide container. The long-term health consequences of exposure to contaminated water sources are far-reaching and potentially devastating for communities. The health impacts of harmful chemicals in the textile industry demand urgent action. Consumers, brands, and governments must work together to promote a more sustainable and ethical fashion system that prioritizes human health and environmental well-being. Some suggestions for change include transparency and traceability. Increased transparency in supply chains is crucial to identify and eliminate the use of hazardous chemicals. Stricter regulations and enforcement mechanisms are needed to limit the use of harmful chemicals in textile production and ensure responsible waste management. The industry should invest in research and development of safer alternatives to hazardous chemicals and promote innovative dyeing and finishing processes such as dope dyeing. Educating consumers about the potential health risks associated with textile chemicals can empower them to make informed purchasing decisions and demand safer products. The pursuit of fast fashion and cheap clothing comes at a steep price for human health and the environment. Transforming the textile industry requires a collective effort to break free from the toxic legacy of harmful chemicals and embrace a more sustainable and equitable future. Your closet may look innocent, but it's hiding a dark secret. The fashion industry is one of the world's largest polluters and a major contributor to climate change. Did you know that making our clothes often involves toxic chemicals that harm both people and the environment? From genetically modified cotton crops doused in pesticides to synthetic dyes that pollute rivers, the true cost of fashion goes far beyond the price tag. Over 80% of cotton grown in the US is genetically modified to withstand herbicides and pesticides. Less than 1% is certified organic. And that's just the beginning of the problem. The clothes we wear every day are often made in unsafe conditions by underpaid workers exposed to hazardous chemicals. But it doesn't have to be this way. There's a growing movement to create clothing that's better for people and the planet. By choosing sustainably and ethically made fashion, we can make a difference. That's where the Carbon Closet comes in. This curated online marketplace features only sustainable and ethical fashion brands. Every item is carefully selected to ensure it meets high standards for environmental and social responsibility. From organic cotton t-shirts to recycled polyester jackets, the Carbon Closet makes it easy to build a wardrobe you can feel good about. No more guessing about the impact of your fashion choices. It's time to rethink how we shop for clothes. Visit thecarboncloset.com today and take the first step towards a more sustainable wardrobe. Together, we can create a fashion industry that values people and the planet as much as style. The power to change the fashion industry is in your hands. Choose wisely, choose sustainably.